Hey everyone, Karen Dubs here with Flexible Warrior Yoga, Health and Wellness. And for a lot of you, if you follow me, you know that I had struggled with migraines for over 30 years. So it's been a little up and down roller coaster. And through that journey and trying to find the root cause of the migraines, I came across Erin Knight, and I want to introduce her today. So hi, Erin.
Hello.
So Erin is the founder of Engineering Radiance, and her focus is to help people overcome chronic headaches and migraines, to find the root cause. And so she's a functional diagnostic nutritionist. And I came across you last summer, I think it was, when you hosted the, what is it, Chronic Headache and Migraine Summit? Is that what it was called?
Exactly.
And I had such an amazing experience with that. And I reached out to you, and that's how we sort of connected. So I'm so excited to have you here today. And if you could just maybe tell everybody a little bit about yourself, your story, like why you started this sort of migraine freedom coaching, and, what brought us together.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you, I had migraines for years and years. They're debilitating, but also frustrating in the sense, like, I didn't know what was causing them. I think, like, probably a lot of anybody that's listening who is having them right now, you're just like chasing triggers. You're avoiding certain situations where there's going to be bright lights, or you're eating a restricted diet. You can't have certain foods like chocolate or red wine. You're just like living this limited life all the time. And I thought that's how it had to be. Yeah, you're kind of in a box. I watched my mom suffer with migraines my whole childhood, and I kind of got that impression of, like, okay, one comes on, you retreat from life from a little bit, and then eventually it goes away, and you move on. And of course, I tried all of the typical things like an elimination diet and different medications, and was managing it to an extent. Of course, they still came at the most frustrating times, like when you really needed to be on, like on an important business meeting, or like if you go on vacation and the jet lag or something throws you out of cycle. That's when they would still come, even when I had a lot of the lifestyle factors like food and stuff like that under control. But again, I didn't think there was anything that could be done until things really got worse. I've learned more recently that migraines and headaches are your body screaming for help. They're kind of like an early warning sign. And eventually, if you don't pay attention to what the body's trying to say, it can really go downhill fast. And that's what happened to me. I ended up with chronic pain, like radiating pain, fatigue, digestive issues that were just horrible because things had broken down to that point. And that's when I was like, I can't live the rest of my life like that. I was all of 27 at that point, completely burnt out and not functional. So I was like, something is wrong here, even though the doctors were telling me I was fine. It didn't really make sense because I'm an engineer. I'm all about root cause analysis. I studied pharmaceutical and chemical engineering, and actually did my master's thesis on teaching root cause analysis to non-engineers. So I was like, there has to be like a reason for this at some level. So that's when I discovered functional medicine. And for those of you who haven't heard of like functional medicine or functional nutrition, it's all about finding the root cause in your hormones, in your digestion. Like there's always a deeper layer of why something's off. And doing some labs and some testing lets us connect the dots of why systems aren't working and flowing the way they should. And there's, everybody that I'm working with now, there's always something. There's always like something. And once we find that allows us to like restore balance and allows the body to start healing itself. And that's what happened for me. There was actually a lot of different layers. I had heavy metal toxicity. I had gut damage from years and years of taking Advil, like Tic Tacs. Yeah. So, and that also can be very depleting. So I had various like nutrient deficiencies just from being on medication for a long time. So long story short, as I peeled back all the layers, things went away. The pain went away, fatigue, and the migraines like really went away. I'm just not sensitive to bright lights and all those kinds of things, which is an incredible sense of freedom. To move through the world and not have to be scared of the thunderstorm, the things that you can't control. It's a sense of freedom. So that's why I called the program the Migraine Freedom Program, because that's what I want for other people. Yeah,
because it very much is. Like, I totally relate to that. You live in this little safe zone box. Like, I can only do so much. And outside of that box, you really are afraid to live your life, and do all the things that, other people do. And that's what I love about your style, is because it's totally comprehensive, and it takes away some of the guesswork. People, first of all, we give medication first. So painkillers, like you and I both did that. I did that for years and years, probably 20 years, of just masking the problem with the painkillers. And I always love I forget her first name, the Gerson therapy. When the body heals, it heals everything. I love that philosophy, and it's so true, because, if you have migraines, there's other things going on. Like you talked about the gut imbalance and the hormonal imbalances. And when you heal all of those things, then the migraines are just gonna, go away. Or for me, like, I don't have them. They're not gone 100%. But I've cut them
much less sensitive.
Cut them down 60, 70% of what they used to be. And even now when I get them, they're, a tenth of what they used to be. So it is very freeing. It's so freeing. And so I thank you for that. The summit opened my mind to things that I thought, and my family sort of jokes with me a little bit that I do everything. You do everything right. Like how could you be having issues? But I think we're doing everything right until we get some of these tests done sometimes, and we find out, about the gut imbalances, the hormonal imbalances that we otherwise didn't know about.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Pretty consistently finding things like parasites and bacterial overgrowth, and people that don't have any gut symptoms per se. They're not telling me that they have any irregularities with that.
Right.
But there's still something going on that's impeding their digestion, absorption of nutrients, also causing like constant inflammation and stress on the body. So there can be things going on that then affects the body, even if you're not running to the bathroom 10 times a day.
Right. Yeah, for sure. But a lot of people do have digestive issues, and they notice that. So they already know that something's not right, but they don't know why.
Yeah. And connecting this.
Let's talk a little bit about how, because not everybody has, headaches or migraines. I mean, that's my thing. That's my go-to in my body. It goes to my head. Some people have back pain. They have arthritis. They have diabetes. There's thousands of different things that are sort of going on because people aren't taking care of themselves. They're lacking self-care. Nutrition is off. And so, maybe we can talk a little bit about, for those that don't have migraine, or maybe someone who does have migraine and this sort of fits them too, but, how this carries over to other imbalances. I guess like we were just talking about, like the Gerson therapy, when the body heals, it heals everything. So do you find that it's mostly diet-based? Is it gut health?
Some of the same underlying things. Yeah. I mean, that's what's cool about functional medicine. And you just said, like, for me, it shows up in my head. And for me, I was susceptible to migraines. My mom had them. Like, when I had stuff off in my body, that's how I get the signal to pay attention. But for somebody else, that can show up in their joints, or like achy joints, or their stomach, or different ways. Skin is a really common one. Sometimes people have both, but sometimes people just notice on their skin acts up every time their gut's off or they eat something. Often that's kind of their signal. So people, there's different ways that shows up for people. And I think that is determined genetically, but we can lower overall the stress load in the body such that we're not going to have those symptoms. So that's the whole ideology behind functional nutrition.
Yeah. So how does it work? How's the process? I know how it works because we've worked together. If someone wants to do a consult with you and coaching through you, it's all via Skype and through phone, and you do an intensive questionnaire. So maybe you can describe a little bit about the case review specifically. It's a 90-minute, very intensive questionnaire, and then phone, Skype consult. So maybe you can describe a little bit about how that works.
Yeah. So if somebody's interested in getting help in this area and like getting into the root causes, a good place to start is just with a really in-depth analysis to see what kind of testing would be most useful. So luckily I have some awesome coaches such as yourself who've joined me and are really good at kind of like unwinding that story and unveiling some of the deeper issues that aren't totally obvious. So just the questionnaire myself, I mean, how long did it take to fill that out? Probably at least an hour, right? So you're gonna spend a lot of time thinking about like your history and what you're doing now. And even before you come into the meeting, you're gonna have maybe some insights of like, oh, I didn't even think that could be connected, but it is.
And you know, for me too, it's really come full circle. This is so, I don't want to say fun, but really fun for me when I get to talk to people now that I'm, you know, assisting you and coaching to take your mission forward to help people be pain-free, because it is so limiting. It's no way to live life. And like you were saying earlier, instead of looking at these symptoms of the migraines as, you know, a victim, like poor me, and that it's a messenger. It's like crystal clear, you're not doing something right. Our detective work is just to help people figure out what that is wrong. But I have got to tell you, I don't know that I really told you that I use the word fun, but it's so rewarding, I guess is a better word for me, to talk to people now, because I feel their pain. I know I've been there. I have been in a fetal position for 24 hours. I mean, one time it was so bad that my husband had to take me to an emergency clinic because I just, you know, so I don't have to tell you, it's horrible pain, but it's just so rewarding to be able to help people work through that. And, you know, the clouds lift and this whole other life that you have on the other side that you didn't know was there. It is so freeing. I mean, the word freedom is the perfect fit for the kind of coaching. So I'm grateful for you and all of that you've done, and the opportunity to be able to help people move this whole stuck in the mud migraine place.
We call it, I should say too, we call it the I tried everything case review, because I find everybody that's had migraines for a while, of course, they've gone through everything that they can think of, left no stone unturned. But when it comes to, you know, if you've done all the conventional things and maybe even done acupuncture, there's a whole world of options that most people haven't heard about in functional nutrition, when it comes to looking beyond just what's in your head and that pain to looking at your whole body and how it's working together. So that's why we call it the I tried everything, because yes, I know you've tried everything, you know, and let's give you some more options. And the whole point of this case review is to sit down, really get a good understanding of what you have tried and what else is out there, and you'll get some hope about, you know, what to do next, some clarity of like, bam, do this 1, 2, 3 things going forward. And we really think this will help you. So that's what the point of starting there is. Yeah.
Yeah. And because it is amazing, the body wants to heal. The body totally doesn't want to be in this pain cycle, but it just sort of goes there. And once it happens, it just sort of happens and it happens. But when you give an opportunity and you start feeding it right and practicing self-care and doing these little techniques, it wants to get better, you know, and it will, and there's hope for that for sure. But the case review is definitely an eye opener. It's very intensive. And so it's a good place for people to start if they do feel like they've done everything, but yet they're still sort of stuck in the mud with it.
And yeah, maybe curious, like, is there anything else? What else can we try? We'll help you figure that out.
Right. Before they go the extremes. I remember one doctor said to me once, you know, I was sort of gotten to the point where I was like, I don't want to keep putting the Band-Aid on the thing and trying to fix it through medications. And the doctor was like, well, you're not in enough pain then. You're clearly not in enough pain, is what he said to me. And I was like, you have no idea the pain that I've endured, but it's not fixing it, was my point. And once my head got into that place of what can I do to resolve what's causing it, the triggers for it, you know, then that's when the change really came. But you know, that whole attitude of you're not in enough pain. So if you're not willing to take this drug, you're not in enough pain.
Do the Botox or the surgery. I mean, those are extreme things. Like, thank goodness that we have so many options for people today. But like for me, I was like never really into needles and surgeries and stuff like that. So like, no way. I would have to think long and hard. I'm more than happy to change my diet and you know, work on my sleep before I like go under the needle. That's just me. I'm sure there's somebody that's like that. Right. Each to their own.
One of the major ones for me, because I was definitely in denial about it, was coffee. was a trigger for me. And I know coffee can really help a lot of people when they're starting to feel a migraine come on. Coffee is actually something that can work as a preventative, for some people. But for me, the daily grind of it and the addiction of it, and my adrenal glands, and, we're all, and we say in the health coaching world, bio-individuality, each and every one of us is unique, our history and the reasons that our health is the way it is. But for me, coffee was something that I had to be willing to give up. And I was definitely addicted because I definitely had, denial and a lot of problems when I did go to give it up. But I was willing to, and you know what? I'm so much better for it. Yeah. So anyway, so we can sort of wrap up and maybe do a follow-up another time. If anybody has any specific questions, you're welcome to type them in the comments, and get back to me. I will be happy to reply back. I would highly recommend. She has so much good information. In fact, she's in Germany right now, and doing a little bit of research sort of with the different cultures handle things a little different as far as our health is concerned. So while you're there, you're talking with some of the locals there to get an inside track of sort of their approach to different health issues, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm here. But I have to say too, like for years, I avoided traveling, and I grew up traveling with my family. And then for years and years, I didn't at all because every time I had jet lag or airplanes, it would give me a migraine. So Yep. I'm doing what I want to do. So if I can help you do that too, then let's do it.
Right. But definitely check her out. Her Facebook page is Engineering Radiance, website engineeringradiance.com. So much good. You're just always pumping out good, informative information to help people. So I love what you're doing. And so we wanted to offer people too an opportunity if you wanted to get I've tried everything, if that's where you are, and I definitely was there too. You can get the Migraine Summit, the Chronic Headache and Migraine Summit that I mentioned earlier that sort of brought us together is a $99 value, and over 30 experts that were speaking at that summit, and so many good tips and information. I got so much out of that. So you get that for free. Is that what you're saying? You're going to get that for free?
If you book with Karen here in the next 48 hours, we're going to send you that summit also for free as a bonus, because it's just going to open your eyes to the possibilities. And also I like to pair it with a case review and not just like give you a bunch. I am giving information constantly on the website and the Facebook page, like information, but like, let's meet with you one-on-one and help you like make sense of all that information and figure out what's important for you. We can help pick out like which interviews are going to be the most helpful to listen to first and things like that. So if you're kind of an information overload, let's help you like clarify that too.
Yeah, it really can be overwhelming. I think the diet, and that's why people hire me as a health coach in general, because the diet industry and the health coaching is so much information. But as we said earlier, we're all very unique and different. So we can help you work through your specific case and help you figure out your triggers and get you to the other side and feeling better. And so that's what we love to do, both Erin and I both. So if you want information, we're gonna post a link to, if you want to sign up for a case review, we'll post a link to that. Yep. And then you get the free Migraine Summit, which is really awesome material. I loved it. So much.
Yeah, it's valuable. It's like talking to 30 different practitioners one-on-one and getting all of their best tips. So like if you've been suffering for a while, I highly recommend taking advantage of this.
I love that it's all online too. So you could like take a walk, walk your dog, or like having dinner or driving your car or whatever it is that you're doing. You can listen to these lectures while you're doing that. So that's awesome. So anyway, we got to wrap it up again. If you post any comments or questions, we would be happy to reply to you. So thank you so much, Erin. And
thank you.
We'll do this again soon.
Okay. Talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye.